there are a lot of people who were thinking that someone like John Dumelo will be maybe a deputy minister for creative arts and culture and all of that. But he's going to the deputy ministry. I mean, he's going to the Ministry of Agric, right, as a deputy minister. So he's going to deputize Eric Opoku. He's got a great chap to learn from, because you know that Eric Opoku is Mr. Agric himself. Yes, right? Yes. Anything agriculture, Eric Opoku is your man, for you. Right? So, of course, the best man for the job that the president has appointed. And we have Mr. Dumelo, who himself now is also called Farmer John. Farmer John. He has his ginger farm. He has that farm. So he's been promoting agriculture among the youth. Right? He's been on that campaign and on that crusade. And so, I think it's good that he's going to that ministry. So let's go through the list, shall we? Ministry
when you
of
finish,
Finance.
I'll go through the list of the people who have lost out or are almost losing out, because now 4 more to go. This is the proper 4 more for Nana.
Yeah, 4 more to do more. 4 more to do more. So the President, John Dramani Mahama, has, in accordance with Article 78(1) and 79(1) of the Constitution, submitted the names of the underlisted to Parliament through the Speaker for prior approval to serve as deputy ministers. Ministry of Finance, Thomas Nyako Ampim. Yeah. And with this one, is raising a lot of eyebrows, right? It's raising a lot of, because there are stalwarts, if I can describe them as such, within the NDC, finance people within the NDC who have been very vocal, who know their stuff that people thought would go to that particular ministry, but they are not there. And if you are wondering who I have in mind, we're talking about the Honorable Member of Parliament for Bolgatanga Central. We're talking about Isaac Adongo. We know that he has been speaking a lot to finance issues. He was ranking member on the Finance Committee of Parliament. Has the Finance Committee of Parliament been set up now?
No, but when the vetting was taking place, he was brought there as sector committee member. So I'm talking about to vet Atufos and the finance minister. That's to tell you that the default portfolio now that he holds is chairman for the finance committee.
Finance committee. He'll probably become chairman for the finance committee. Well, that's been a chairman of a committee come with anything.
Okay, so it depends on your relationship with the finance minister. And so once again, if the finance minister has a good relationship with you, and then good relationship with the committee, finance committee, yes, it comes with something. By default, what it comes with is that when it comes to external engagement, anywhere that the finance minister is, you'll be there. So IMF engagement, World Bank engagement, any engagement outside the jurisdiction that requires that there's a financial representation, be it from government, you will be there.
And you also have to be scrutinizing the finance minister's policies.
Exactly.
Because a lot of it will have to come to Parliament for approval.
Yes.
You'd be in charge of that, right?
That's true. Yes. So I think the one whose tenure we can use in measuring the relationship between the finance minister and then the chairman of the committee and how it should be is Kweku Kwating.
Yeah, Kweku Kwating and
Kenu Furiata, and then subsequently. Exactly.
Yeah.
At a point, Kweku Kwating had a different direction that he felt government should take. But because he had been there before as a deputy finance minister, he was clear in his mind as to what he wanted. Government equally had an agenda to push, right? And we all know how that ended. Eventually, he had to be booted out. But then government business suffered.
He had to be booted out.
Yes, he was.
I mean, he was opposed to,
the tax waivers.
And
at the point, he felt like economically the country was headed in the wrong direction. He spoke about it. He spoke to us about it as well.
He did. But later on, he was trying to be coy about it. But, maybe he was whipped in line. So Isaac Adongo was expected to, play a role, play a key role at the finance ministry some way, somehow. But he's been snubbed, and the people in his constituency are up in arms, right? And he has had to, come and respond, right? What has he been saying?
Well, so he's asked them to calm down, right? And to sum this up, he says, "Our time will come," right? He didn't campaign for John Mahama to be president again, only for his constituents to come and embarrass the president, right? And that it's needless that the constituents are up in arm and they are agitating. He recognizes their disappointment, and he actually recognizes their disappointment, and he knows the expectation they had relative to he serving in this administration. But once it has not happened, it doesn't mean that the constituents will be embarrassing the party and then by extension the president. So in essence, that's what he wrote
that's
about.
what he's
and that he believes in the capacity of the people who have been put in positions to help the president prosecute his agenda.
I mean, that's a good position to have, isn't it? To call your supporters and those who believe that you've been snubbed. You need to call them to order. And make sure that they are not engaging in any untoward behavior.
Exactly.
And I don't get this thing about people missing out on appointments and the supporters of those people agitating. I really don't get it, right? Why do they do that?
Okay.
Because is it that when their person gets an appointment, by extension, they also get some freebies or some perks or what? I really don't understand.
Well, so there's an adage in Akan that someone said them more in all right? To it, whenever there's food and you have your hand in the bowl, there's no way anybody can snub you or the food will be consumed without you. Again, there's another saying that says ufi epete do nama ebika to wait when the vulture from your family decides to devour you, at least some remnant will remain, right? So in politics, when you have on your own, the first one is that it projects the image of wherever you are from.
Okay.
So this constituency has a deputy minister. This constituency has a minister. You have no idea how Ejuma Kwenya Esiam will feel very proud that their son is the exchequer.
So it's about pride.
Of the exchequer.
And it's about Edidija.
That's one. The next one is that you want to tell me that if Dr. Kesela Tufosin wants a project in his own constituency, and he is in charge of allocation of resources, you want to tell me that he will overlook his constituency?
Oh, but but you see, he can
what?
There can only be one finance minister.
Oh, no, I get that. No. I know. You see, it's a picture I'm painting. I'm telling you.
You are talking about finance.
And we are talking about legitimate things. We're not talking about illegitimate things.
So, Governor Kwame Agboja.
Exactly. And the rules in his constituency. Go and look at Amakwante's constituency. I showed you. Not just rules, the light. If your pin falls down, you will see it in the night. That's Amakwante's constituency.
So they believe that if Isaac Adongo was at the finance ministry,
not just Isaac Adongo, I'm giving you Sisala West.
Central.
Sisala West, Suparu.
Yeah, Mohammed Suparu. Yeah, his people are also agitated.
They've actually petitioned the president that in the Sisala enclave, at least under Akufo-Addo, they had your friend
Chinya.
Amidou Chinya.
Yeah.
Who was the deputy minister.
Yeah.
Now, kwata, nothing for them. So they have petitioned.
But everybody in the entire country can get, and from any constituency can.
No problem.
There are 183 NDC MPs.
Yes.
183
yes.
of them. The president cannot appoint 183
obviously
ministers and deputy ministers.
Yeah.
The president cannot do that. So if every constituency where there is an NDC MP gets up and says that my MP didn't get an appointment, what do you think is going to happen here in this country? And the president made a vow, he made a promise to the good people of Ghana that I'm not going to appoint more than 60 ministers. And so, a lot of people are going to be disappointed, and the president himself is on record to have said that he's got thousands of CVs on his desk, but unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Right?
Yes, of course.
So, it's really neither here nor there. You should allow the president to have the peace of mind to work. And that's what Isaac Adongo has captured. Allow the president to have the peace of mind to work with the people that he believes he can work with for the prosperity of this country. And that is what we should be thinking about. I think we are too polarized along political lines, first of all, in this country. And also, we really do not understand what the essence of politics is. A lot of people who get involved in politics do not understand what the essence of politics is because of how, over the years, we have done our politics. We've turned our politics into an avenue of getting rewarded and making money and getting prosperous, such that if you are in a country and you want to prosper or you want to make money, then the easiest way to do that is to get into politics, sit on radio, sit on TV, do a lot of discussion, sometimes do a lot of insulting, or get into the constituency, get known, do a lot of, work for people to see you. And when your party comes into power, you'll be rewarded with a position where you can make a lot of money. And it is from that mindset that we are seeing all of these agitations, and it doesn't really help anybody. But that is really not the essence of politics. Politics is a contest of ideas, and then when you put forth the best idea and people vote for you based on those ideas and policy proposals, you put the competent people there who have the country at heart to work in those portfolios for the benefit of me, for the benefit of you. That is essentially what politics is supposed to be about. Politics is about nation building, not people being rewarded for doing work for the political party. So the sooner we shift our attention and we shift our mindset, from that kind of thinking, the better for us all. I mean, the president has talked about a reset, right?
Yep.
And I think the reset also needs to happen in the minds of the ordinary Ghanaian, right? There needs to be a reset, a shift. Because you can't come and be agitating and all of that because your MP didn't get a ministerial position, or there's no minister from your area, or what. These ministers are supposed to administer for the entire country, for crying out loud. Because the country needs to progress. So I get very worried and I get upset when I see things like this happening. So Isaac Adongo, fine chap. He didn't get any appointment, any ministerial appointment. I mean, well, there are 4 more to be appointed, so maybe you'll get something.
Yeah, but what came out as a surprise, and a quick one, is the Member of Parliament for Timpani. We felt the president was done with the appointment of ministers.
Yeah.
But then there's a Minister of State
in charge of public sector reforms.
Yes,
right?
yes. Ladi. Lamisi.
Yeah.
Yes. Honorable Lamisi. Yes. So you can never say never. You can never say never. But I think if the party had created awareness, engaged people, because I said this the last time we were on TV, that when the president made a promise of appointing just 16 ministers, automatically the party ought to have known that there will be many people who were disappointed.
Exactly.
President Kufuor didn't want that. So initially he appointed 125.
110 at first. And then when the regions were created, 125.
Thereabout.
Or so. And we all complained about it.
We did.
We all complained
about it. And then we don't
it.
want to go there again.
Yeah, we don't.
But once this promise is made, get your people to internalize the fact that there will be disappointment.
No, but the people should already know, because they also come. Why? When they were campaigning, wasn't that one of the major features of the NDC's campaign?
And political
to the extent, even across the political divide, everybody was campaigning on lean government. Even the MPP was now even saying 50
ministers. I'm talking about the
also.
reactions of the party supporters to their people of preferred choice missing out. For the 60 appointments, it's a promise. It's in the manifesto. Yeah. Everybody knows.
And I'm talking
about how they should react. So
but
as a party
supporters who are reacting like this, didn't they themselves campaign that the president Akufo-Addo had too many ministers and that John Mahama will have 60 ministers?
I hear you, but still the engagement ought to take place. Let people understand that. See, there are many roles many people can play rather than just being ministers or being deputy ministers. Let people know that the promise the president has made, reshuffle might not just be movement from one point to the other. Reshuffle might mean that you go and sit out because you have failed to deliver after 2 years, and other people coming in. That could be. So get that education down there. Otherwise, the agitations, they've just started.
They should stop the agitations. It doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't make the NDC look good. You see, I've maintained that these things that NDC supporters are doing, going on rampage here, doing destruction to property here, agitating that CEOs should get out, trying to lock up offices, agitating that, look at what happened in Ho, people burning whatever at party offices because no appointments. You see, all of these things do not put a good name on the NDC as a party.
Yeah.
Because the NDC has won. There's a lot of goodwill for President John Dramani Mahama. Many people believe that he has started well. And if you, as party supporters, continue to engage in this nonsense, this is what I call it, because that is what it is. Engage in this nonsense, you are bringing the name of your party, as we would always say, into disrepute, right? And causing a lot of disaffection for your party. So when people who are on the other side start pointing to some of these things that party supporters are engaged in and start saying, we said it. Look at the NDC people. Look at what they are doing. They are violent people. They are intolerant people. They are this, they are this, they are that. You know, people would begin to averse their minds to that and will say, well, if this is how you are behaving, then what the opposition is saying perhaps is true about your party. And you do not want that.
Yep.
So I think the party leadership should strategically embark on some sort of mission to call party supporters to order and start putting in place measures to quell these things that are happening, because essentially, I mean, really, it doesn't help anybody.
True.
But the man who is going to the Deputy Finance Ministry, Thomas Nyakwampim.
Yeah.
Good chap.
I said, man.
Yeah.
He's been with the Finance Committee.
Yeah.
As it stands now, he was the chairman for the Budget Committee.
Right.
Before the 8th Parliament expired.
Yeah.
Right. So, usually when it comes to appointment, their factors are many than just your knowledge in a sector. The factors could be where you're from. What I know is that when it comes to deputy ministerial portfolios, the substantive ministers are heavily consulted. Heavily.
Yeah.
I know, and Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
If finance minister or if your minister says I can't work with you, that's it. Sticker, it cost him his job initially.
Yeah, because the finance ministry,
said,
right? I can't work with you.
He can't work with him. That's it.
You know, it's interesting. And it's interesting that you also say this, because you remember during the vetting of Harry Idrisu for the Education Ministry.
Yeah.
And I think he was asked what his relationship with Dr. Clementa Park is like.
Yeah.
You remember what Harry Idrisu said?
Yeah.
He said, you know, there should be calm.
Yeah.
He's working on something for Dr. Park. You remember?
Yeah, he mentioned, yeah.
So, is this something that he was working on? Because Dr. Park is now Deputy Education Minister.
In fact, the only thing that was going to work against him was where he's from. Because it's become like northern part of the country, two of them, both the minister and then the deputy minister. So that was the only thing that was a consideration that was hindering his appointment. But once that was overlooked, he is home and dry. APAC has been communicating, but then again, his boss and his people will not equally be happy. I'm talking about Bitano Chupotoi, who is the ranking member
on the Education Committee
as far as the 8th Parliament is concerned. Yeah, he's from the Volta region. But you can also argue that, as it stands now, there are many people from the region who have equally been given appointment, cabinet portfolios. Yeah. So that became a disadvantage for him.
I mean, the Volta region has significant,
you look at
ministerial portfolios.
Yeah, look at the
significant ones.
The Defense Ministry, for instance. I've seen many people say that, it means Ashanti. No, Omaniboma is from Eastern region.
Yeah.
Omaniboma is from Eastern region, but Jemfi is from Ashanti.
But people were wondering what Broja Jemfi was, because Broja Jemfi is also one of the people, a lot of people will say, so what, Broja Jemfi is not going to get anything.
Exactly.
He's not going to go anywhere. But he's a deputy minister for defense now. So, Ministry for the Interior, Ebenezer Oklete Telabi.
He was former deputy defense minister, so it doesn't come as a surprise at all.
Yeah, so he's going to deputize Muntaka Mubarak. Defense, of course, Broja Jemfi. We've talked about Broja Jemfi. Broja Jemfi did a lot of work, right? Yeah. He did a lot of work, and it's interesting. I wonder what the consideration was in taking Broja Jemfi to the defense ministry.
Yeah.
I really wonder what the consideration was.
Okay, so I think the consideration...
Because if you look at the nature, because if you've noticed the pattern of John Mahama's appointments, and I've said this before, he's putting round pegs in round holes. Yeah. Right? He's not putting square pegs in round holes. He's actually putting round, because the general theme has been people who have knowledge in that area have demonstrated a certain kind of competence in that area in the past, and even while they were in opposition, are the people who are going to those portfolios Dominic Aine, Attorney General, Minister of Justice. We know his pedigree, and we know the work that he's done, and we know that he's been Deputy Attorney General before. Keslato Forcing, nobody even needs to talk about it. Right? Governs Kwame Agboja. You look at all of these, ministerial portfolio. Eric Opoku, to our Greek. You look at all of these portfolios, it's like people, Okujeto Ablakwa to Foreign Affairs, we know he was ranking there. Akando to Health, we know he was ranking there, and what he did over there. Sam George to Communications, we know he was ranking there.
Deputy ranking.
Deputy ranking. And
to we know it's no longer in Parliament.
Yeah, so I mean, but we even know how loud Sam George was, with regard to communication. So it's like the portfolios that are being filled are people who actually fit nicely into those portfolios. So you'd wonder the considerations that went with Ernest Broja Jemfi. I was talking to some people yesterday, and they were asking those questions that, okay, is this just a reward for the good work that Broja Jemfi has done for the NDC, especially in the Ashanti region, or are there other considerations?
For Broja Jemfi, it's done some works. Usually.
No, in terms of working for the party.
No, I'm talking about working for the party. But what other work?
Done a lot of work.
What other work could he? But there are many people in the Ashanti who have equally worked for the NDC, right? But when it comes to such allocations, the party in the region has a say. So sometimes they will say all of you should go and agree as to who you are bringing in the region, and usually it's about who is either your godfather, your godmother, or how many of them are speaking in your favor. So, in fact, I think that the NDC did a lot of work in the Ashanti region by way of policing the ballots. I think the decision to make Broja Jemfi a deputy defense minister, right, is to also ensure that there's that balance,
right,
between the Eastern region, of course, Ashanti region. And then for the future.
Right.
For the future. In fact, future features in many of the appointments that President John Dramani Mahama has made. And you can see it evidently clear.
A lot of young people go into various portfolios.
Exactly.
And as Broja Jemfi, I know personally, brilliant guy. Brilliant guy, solid guy, does a lot of work. I just remember the feud between Broja Jemfi and Pablo.
Yes, when he was going to the youth organizer portfolio, position, contest the youth organizer portfolio.
Maybe if he had won, he would now be the minister for youth development. But
let's see.
Anyway, but I think it's water under the bridge now. They are working together. They work together to bring the party into power. Education, Clement Park, we've talked about it. The Busa North, is it Busa North or South? MP. Is it Busa North or South?
Who?
Apak.
Apak is Busa South.
Busa South.
Busa North is James Agalga.
James Agalga, yes.
And that's another disappointment to many people. He served as a deputy interior minister.
Yes, he did.
Ranking member for the Defense and Interior Committee.
He
has now missed out totally.
Even on the Broja Jemfi is going to the deputy portfolio.
Exactly. If he doesn't make the 4.
I mean, there are many people to appoint, but you see, because of the promise of the 60 ministers, the president's hands are tied to that. Unless he wants to ignore and go above it, which will not sit well with Ghanaians. So I don't think it's something that the president will do. Energy and green transitions, Richard Jan Mensah. Richard Jan Mensah.
Yes, Richard Jan Mensah. That would be, what's the name? From the central region. One of Gumwa West.
Gumwa West.
Gumwa West MP. Young guy, young chap. I took the seat from the NPP.
I think he worked in the petroleum sector before, didn't he?
He took the seat from the NPP in 2020 and then retained it in 2024. And so, it doesn't come as a surprise.
And, of course, Al-Hassan Suini. Al-Hassan Saibu Suini. Roads and highways. No surprise there, of course.
No, I expected him to be
Suini was always going to get.
What's the name? I expected him to be at Lands and Natural Resources.
Yeah, because he was on that committee.
Yeah, he was on that
right. But
committee.
I'm saying no surprise there because I mean he was always going to
Make the cut.
And get an appointment.
Oh yes.
Because
yes. In fact, he missed out on the substantive by the whisker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people, if he could be spoken to, you get that we have people who can be spoken to.
Yeah.
And say that you bid your time. And Sweeney is one of them.
Sweeney is such a fine gentleman.
Yes, Sweeney is one of the people that you can speak to and
such
say,
a fine gentleman.
don't worry, your time will come.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And so it doesn't come as a surprise. Of course, he was always going to make the cut. He was always going to make the cut.
So Suhini is there for roads and highways.
Yeah.
Justice Sremsai.
That came to me as a surprise because guess what?
Surprise?
A surprise.
I mean, as far back as December, they were all. Didn't you hear? It moving around that Justice Sremsai was being considered for an Attorney General position.
No surprise,
in there. So I'm not too surprised that it has happened because I saw it coming.
My surprise is not because he's been appointed as a deputy AG or deputy minister for justice, right? My surprise is that I heard that he was going to, he is somebody who is a candidate for the Supreme Court. He had not done out and out politics, right? So if Justice Sremsai should be nominated to the Supreme Court, that should not raise eyebrows.
I mean, from private practice straight to the bench?
We had many of them.
Well, yes, but
no.
It's something
I'm
that
not
people
sure. No,
complain
the
about.
conversation was not because people had been elevated from private practice. It was the caliber of people.
The caliber of people. So you believe Sremsai would have been a good Supreme Court judge? I believe so too, because I mean, Justice Sremsai's competence in the legal area is not in doubt in any way, shape, or form.
So now
he's
that
demonstrated
door is shut.
that competence.
Yeah. So now that door is shut.
It's not shut.
Hello.
It's
Even
not shut.
Akufo-Addo could not appoint former appointee to the Supreme Court. You want Mahama to appoint former appointees to the Supreme Court. That would be a new law.
But
and we won't be here to
President
support that.
Akufo-Addo appointed
That's the
former
point.
parliamentary candidates.
That's the point. That's the point. So he went to that law
to the bench.
That's the point.
So he has shown the way.
He never went to a former appointee. That's the point I'm making.
He has shown the way.
You are not getting me. That was low, and we condemned it. We don't expect Mahama to go lowest. That's the point I'm making. So there were many who felt that that is a card that could have been played. Nonetheless, what's the name? Nonetheless, that has been brought to us. That has been brought to us. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But congratulations to Justice Sremsai, who is going into that ministerial portfolio as Deputy Attorney General. We all know the role that Deputy Attorney Generals have played in this country, usually because the Attorney General cannot be handling every case, and so a lot of the cases you are going to see the Deputy Attorney General at the forefront. And Justice Sremsai, I believe, is competent, very, very competent enough to do that work, and so we'll see him in there. He's not been a political person. You know, he's not known to be a member of any political party. But the appointment has come. So with Lantam Natural Resources, we have Yusuf Sulemana for Lantam Natural Resources.
Yeah, there were agitations in Bole Bamboy as well after the president exhausted the main ministerial portfolios.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to him and he saying that he's disappointed in his own constituents. And he had a question for them. Do they just want appointment or they want development? If it's just appointment that they want, then they are right in agitating. But if it's development and job for the youth, the teaming unemployed youth in their constituency, that's what they are looking for. Then he doesn't have to be a minister to get that for them. The president knows what he's doing, and so they should allow the president
to work.
And that's what he said.
And that should be the message to all those people who are agitating.
Exactly.
That should be the message to them, right?
Yeah.
So we have local governance, chieftaincy and religious affairs, Rita Na Odole Soa. Na Odole Soa.
That's member of parliament for Ladade Kotopong.
Yes, Ladade Kotopong.
So it doesn't come to me as a surprise. At least the many women in the Greater Accra region have been rewarded. Namomo latte as well.
Yeah, Namomo.
Who is in another adjoining was the name of our constituency. And then now this MP, Ladiko Topon MP. And then, of course, we have Linda Okulu as well as Greater Accra Regional Minister.
Yeah.
And so, yes.
Linda Okulu has made a promise to us. She says that 70% of all street lights are going to be working.
Okay.
You've not heard that promise?
No, I've heard that. That's,
how many?
Work
she
on
gave
that.
how many weeks?
I don't remember clearly, but what she says is that they're going to fix them.
They're going to fix all. He said within a number of weeks.
Okay.
Right, they are going to fix all street lights.
That's great.
If it's not all during that period, at least 70% of all street lights in the Greater Accra region are going to be working.
That would be great.
We want to hold her to it.
Yeah, the Ashanti Regional Minister equally made a similar promise. In fact, he held a meeting yesterday with all the stakeholders. And
the Ashanti Regional Minister, street lights.
Yeah, the place is too dark. They are going to let
Kumasi is too dark.
Let's let Kumasi, Greater Kumasi.
So Kumasi will be lit.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Gisela Tete. Yeah. Hey, Tete Agbotui.
If there's and she's going to
she's going to Western Housing. Yeah.
If there's
and
anybody,
water resources.
If there's anybody who qualifies to say like for like, right, or square peg in square hole, she's a real estate developer.
Yeah.
She's a member of Greda, and for her to go to her own sector.
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant stuff.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So good appointment by the president there. Tourism, creative arts and culture. Yusuf Isaka Jaja.
Yeah, that's the Iowa North MP.
Yeah.
That came to me as a surprise. He needed to be somewhere, but where he's
this is where people thought J Mello would go.
Yeah, he needed to be somewhere, but you see, he couldn't have been made a great minister because there's no farm in Mamobi. There's not even a garden. There's no garden in Mamobi.
Yeah.
So yeah, he needed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
You see, there's a portfolio that you see and you go like, okay, this one there. You need to be somewhere, so let's fix you somewhere. So let's see. Let's see how that works.
So then we have Samson Ahi.
Yes, former deputy minister for Works and Housing.
He's going to trade, agribusiness and industry.
Exactly.
That's a new ministerial portfolio that has been
merged,
that has been put up,
redefined, and then so that's the other half of Erekopuku. They are like twins, and so Erekopuku is at the agri sector.
Yeah.
When it comes to the agribusiness sector, Samson Ahi will be there to support.
Yeah.
That equally came to me as a surprise because we were expecting Dr. Peter Bomo Tokuno.
Yeah.
To get that portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see.
Well, so in the newspapers this morning, quite a number of interesting headlines. I'm looking at the New Crusading Guide newspaper this morning, and it says Agboja opens bid for competitive road tolling system in Ghana. We know that there is every plan to bring road tolls back.
Yeah.
But I remember during his vetting, he had mentioned that the road tolls are going to come back in a different form, which is going to cut out the human interface.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister says Accra will be lit again in 50 days.
50 days, yes. 50 days.
Yes. Thank you, Dr.
70%.
Dr. Jonathan Asante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least 70%
yeah.
of street lights will be done in 50 days, right?
Yeah.
We'll hold her to it. She should also take a look at the traffic lights. The phenomenon of traffic lights not working at every given time. It's something which needs to also come to a stop. Or that is not under the Greater Accra Regional Minister's
traffic lights.
Yeah,
they should add that one. You can't just keep the city lit and then leave out the traffic lights. So the traffic lights should also be fixed.
And then she should also begin to advocate seriously for the numerous potholes in the many places in Accra to be fixed.
But now what happened to the app? We'll find out from Abuja.
Well, the app is...
We'll find out from Abuja.
The app is
but of course, it's in the handing over. Wow, did he live with the app?
No, but he was minister for roads.
Yes, and then we were talking about potholes. And I'm saying that we'll find out from Abuja.
I'm talking about the Greater Accra Regional Minister.
He doesn't construct roads.
I know, but
I get that.
Department of Urban Roads...
I agree.
Where does the Department of Urban Roads work from?
For you, that there was an app. So let's find out from Abuja how many potholes that app was able to fix.
But who are the ones who were supposed to take pictures and upload it on the app?
Exactly. So
that they will come and fix it.
So find out.
But did people do it?
But the app is still there, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if the app is there. You know, so
that's digital
she should make it also a priority to liaise with the minister.
Yeah.
And the Department of Urban Roads to make sure that the potholes are dealt with. There are potholes when you are going to, of course, so many places all around Accra.
Yeah.
So many places all around Accra that there are so many potholes, you know, in all of these areas, right?
Yeah.
One that I'm particularly very, very upset about is the stretch from, you know, Achimota New Plan going all the way to Mile 7, the Mile 7 runabout. The Mile 7 runabout. If you see the Mile 7 runabout,
yes,
and the potholes that are there, those potholes have been there since time immemorial, and it causes a lot of traffic because now the vehicles cannot flow easily.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you must necessarily, you know, slow down to go through that area. Already traffic built up on that stretch, coupled with the potholes, which makes the traffic worse.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, drivers have been complaining, and those potholes have not been fixed. And it's becoming a phenomenon around some of these roundabouts, which are around interchanges, right? I mean, similar thing at Atomic.
Yeah.
Potholes there. You know, at other areas, you get to the roundabout there, and there are potholes there. Nobody's doing anything about it.
That's true. Hopefully, the renewed energy and the vigor and the freshness will extend to the
so
potholes.
they should work on the
president
potholes.
says the interchange in Takrady, they call it PTC interchange, will be completed. Also, the Takrady Market Square, will be completed.
Yeah. The Market Square was cut by President Akufo-Addo, right?
No, the project is about 82% complete, we're told.
Yeah, so he'll complete
even the PTC interchange, it was part of the butter trade, the Sino Hydro butter project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, President Mahama has promised. President Mahama has promised
Market
that he will complete it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's up with that. And for the road tolls, Agboja has opened the bid for competitive road tolling system in Ghana. So it'll be interesting to see how the road tolling system is going to be introduced.
Yeah.
Also, KGL boss promotes public-private partnerships for sustainable development at Africa Prosperity Dialogue 2025. Minority slams Mahama for dropping charges against acting BOG governor and threatens to petition the IMF. Dr. Isiama, the acting BOG governor, you know, the minority had issues with him going to the Bank of Ghana. And you remember when I spoke to Alexander Kwamna Afinyomaki, he indicated that it's something that the minority has taken notice of and they were going to take it up. And, you know, subsequently that press conference was held where they raised issues, you know, with regard to him going to the Bank of Ghana when the Council of State has not been put together. Because the president is supposed to do the appointment in consultation with the Council of State, right?
Yeah. Yes. So you mentioned that. But this one, they've gone beyond that. You remember you asked him about the withdrawal of the charges against...
Of the charges, yes.
And he had mentioned
and he's
that
one of them. They've taken notice of it.
He had tasked some members of the
legal team
to do some comprehensive work. But he singled out of Atufosen and mentioned that he had won at the Court of Appeal. Right. And then he went on to talk about Esiama. The argument is that the case against Esiama ought to have stood. It shouldn't have been withdrawn. And that they are going to petition the IMF. Okay. And then I said, okay.
So what will the IMF do? I'm wondering what the IMF will do.
We've seen a header before, right? Where the minority petitioned the U.S. government and then the IMF over the
And so if they petition the IMF, like, what will it do?
Over the Eurobond.
What is it going on? But in this particular instance, right?
Yeah.
Dropping charges against the governor of the Bank of Ghana, what will a petition to the IMF do? I'm just curious, you know, to know because...
No, just to alert, you know,
so that to what end? To what end?
Okay. So I get the point you are making. That to what end?
Yeah.
But they're saying that, see, you all know about negativity surrounding the economic sector, right? And they say money doesn't like noise.
It's competitive.
Yes. And so any petition of that nature is to take away some level of integrity from the system, right? But let's see how this goes, Charlie. The opposition will do opposition's work, Charlie.
So,
it is what it is.
He's saying that they will be writing to the IMF to draw the attention to this issue, given that he will also, as governor of the Bank of Ghana, be a member of the IMF Board of Governors, exposing Ghana to international ridicule. So they believe that his position will expose Ghana to international ridicule because there are charges against him. The charges were just dropped without it going a full trial, so we don't know whether he's truly innocent, because if the charges have been dropped, it doesn't absolve him of blame. It's just that the Attorney General filed an nolle prosequi saying the state is no more interested in, in dealing with those charges.
We'll delve deeper into this, of course, subsequently on the show. So I think the issue is about how long it even took to prosecute this man and get this case done with. See, no case. Yes, no case.
What's allowing you to here in the studio? How long did the case travel?
So they were arraigned sometime in 2020.
2020.
That
that's 4 years.
That's 4
and how
years.
many times can you remember did the case feature? Was the case?
No, as for the trial is on. The past 5 years, the trial has been on. Prosecution is still calling witnesses. They are not done with their case yet. So that's the stage that the case is. So that's how come he was discharged the day before yesterday when the AG dropped charges against. And you note that in the case of Dr. Tim Koblopuni and the others, they were acquitted and discharged because at the time that the AG was dropping the charges, the state had closed its case. But in relation to that, the case has not closed. The prosecution has not closed its case yet. Yeah.
Interesting. So, well, we'll see.
And as an observer, I can remember a number of prominent cases and how many times we had to do stories about them. How many times they had to feature. This was not one of them.
You get a point.
It tells you how many times the case featured. That's the point I'm making. Yes, it tells you. In fact, I know that he together with 3 others, or 2 others, were arraigned. And it was in connection with the banking sector cleanup and what have you. That was it.
Anyway, Abu Jinapor is also in hot water. Abu Jinapor has come under heavy criticism. And, yesterday I talked about this on GH Today, right? So this headline of the New Crusading Guide says, Abu Jinapor denies denigrating Rawlings. It is alleged that the voice that was heard in Parliament saying, daughter of Medra, sit down, daughter of Medra, sit down, was Abu Jinapor's voice. Was it his voice?
Not him.
It wasn't his voice, right?
See,
but
Abu Jinapor, the MP has been identified, but
who is it?
He has issued a statement saying that he's not the one. Don't worry.
Who is that?
Parliament. Yesterday was a petition from the constituency.
From the constituency to Parliament.
Received by the clerk of Parliament.
Okay. So it will go to who? The Speaker?
Yes, it will go to the Speaker. Investigations will be done. And
because
the person will just own up and apologize. It happens.
Yes. Why should somebody stand up bold enough to describe somebody this way, and now we are asking you to beat your chest and say that I am the one that said
I don't think he thought the mic was on.
Why?
Because Dr. Zenato Rawlings, correct me if I'm wrong, was making a statement on the floor of the House about, was it cervical cancer, right? It was talking about that, right?
In fact, there was a commemorative statement from the Member of Parliament for Ebu Akwa South, the one who replaced Atachian. Atachian replaced Akufo-Addo. There's a gentleman, I think he's Silajuman, Dr. Kinsi Lajuman. It was in celebration of JB Dankwa.
Oh, okay.
Then, after he was done, Murtala Mohammed took the opportunity to also contribute. And he said, despite all the beautiful things said about JB Dankwa, he betrayed Ghana. And that generated some heated exchanges here and there. So it got to the turn of Abu Jinapor to speak. No, in fact, yes. And he got up, spoke. It was when the minority leader, Alexander Kwame Afenyomakin, was on his feet.
To speak.
No, he came in to even say that usually in such instances, commemorative statement, you don't highlight the negatives. Everybody has Nanso. Everybody has the negative. But you highlight the positive. That's to admonish Murtala. Then he mentioned that a time will come, statements will be made to celebrate Liman. Statements will be made to celebrate Rawlings.
Males.
Right?
Yes, Males and Akufo-Addo.
So then Zaneto, I think, got up on her feet, got up to probably say something.
And then we had daughter of Medra, sit down.
Sit down.
Daughter of Medra, sit down.
And then somebody said, no, don't say that. I said, I send a Papa Kunipa. There's evidence.
Yeah, I heard that. We heard all of that.
So the point that was it the same person who was saying that daughter of Medra sit down?
Yeah.
That is saying that there's evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same person. But I thought, but it was so. At what point did the senator make a statement on cervical cancer?
Oh no, that was earlier in the day, in the course of the day earlier.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure that one was on camera.
Okay. Yeah. No, but okay. Yeah. But my focus on Abuja-Napo.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me come back to Abuja-Napo. So my focus on Abuja-Napo is the fact that he got up on the floor of the house, had printed fake news, and was making a statement on the floor of the house on the basis of fake news.
Yeah.
A member of parliament.
Yeah.
A member of parliament, a former minister, a lawyer for that matter.
Yeah.
A lawyer, a practicing lawyer.
Yes.
Former minister for lands and natural resources.
Yes.
Former deputy chief of staff. MP for Damango constituency.
So it tells you the level of
and then you get up and then you make a statement of the floor of the house based on fake news.
Yeah. See.
Fake news. Like why would Abuja-Napo do that? It's two things for me. It's either he knew that it was not true and he deliberately got on the floor of the house, got up to make a statement for political effect, or he fell victim to fake news. Is either one of the two.
Well,
just days after Oliver had appeared before the committee and the issue of fake news came up.
Let me help you out here briefly. So I think Abuja-Napo got carried away. Under no circumstances whatsoever that even if it's true, must you import that onto the floor of parliament. So what? A colleague of yours is watching pornographic material and you think that is worth highlighting? Really?
But it's not even true.
No, I'm coming. So that's the point I'm making, that let's assume that he was not peddling fake news. That indeed it happened. Under no circumstances whatsoever must that feature in your argument. That's one. Two, you wake up a toddler asleep, and ask the toddler whether that incident could happen on the floor of parliament. So I will tell you no.
Why would why would any MP be watching porn in parliament?
Is in the photographers.
Even if they watch it, they'll go and watch it in their office.
My disappointment is in the photographers, where now
so
mainstream media houses have become like paparazzis. That picture ought not to have been taken in the first place.
Yeah, and
somebody's reading private messages on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And you capture it and you place your logo on it.
To what end?
And not just that, A+. There's another picture of A+. Somebody is seated. You see, you should not take a picture of anybody without the person knowing that you are taking a picture of it, especially in an official setting.
Yeah.
On the floor of parliament, there's no way you should be taking stolen shots.
And if that
because it's the floor of parliament.
If that is allowed, I'm not cutting you. If that's allowed first time, we are going to be seeing a lot of more worrying stuff from parliament. Because now I'll be monitoring you, Lantam.
Yeah.
I'll be monitoring that person, and I want to make a mockery out of the person. Yeah. So I'll be monitoring whatever.
Intentionally take a certain picture of you.
When the spell of the moment, you have certain messages and you decide to open and realize that it's a classified material that you are not supposed to really open to. Somebody will take a picture of you and say that this is what you are doing and all of that. And like I even mentioned,
so it's an invasion. It's an invasion
on somebody's privacy,
right on the floor of the house, right? If you are taking a picture, yes, you take the pictures of the MPs and all of that. But for example, if an MP gets up to make a statement on the floor of the house, you can take a picture of them, right? Yeah. Or if they are seated, you go to a very good, location, a very good angle, and let them know. Yeah. And then you take a picture of them. But Sam George is sitting there on his phone, having a private conversation with someone on his WhatsApp. Yeah. And then from that angle, where the phone is visible and the messages are visible, you take a picture. And that is most unfortunate.
Stamp your logo on it. How many checks did they have to go through? You get it? Because somebody might have checked and said, okay, yeah, this is okay. Let's slap a logo on it.
So people will be zooming in to read the message.
It's possible.
People have done that. I've seen people who have zoomed in and said, this is the messages that Sam George was sending to the other people. And even with that, the way they doctored it and put pornographic material on the phone is the same way they can also doctor it and put certain messages on it and say that this is what Sam George was talking about, which I find most unfortunate.
Very. But Abu Jinapor has apologized. He has apologized.
Oh, he has.
He has. He has apologized to Sam George, and I think
when did he do that?
That was the same day.
I think same day. I think moments.
Moments later
was drawn
to it. Yeah.
But he ought not to have been made.
But he went and printed the thing.
Yeah, he did. But that was after he did to support his argument, and he realized that he had become a merchant for fake news.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A whole MP. And prior to that, fake news brought Oliver Bakavoma to the appointments committee.
Yeah.
Because the supposed post, who drew the chairman's attention to it? Who drew the chairman's attention to Bakavoma's post?
No, it's from the minority.
From the minority. So the minority drew the attention of the chairman.
Oh, the chief whip was involved. Another prayer, yes, was involved as well. Yeah.
And I think the particular post was the one which was fake, right? But there was another post that Oliver Baka
made. Stood by. Yeah.
Yeah, stood by that he made. So, I mean, IMP should not be falling prey to fake news. It is unbecoming of our members of parliament. And, it's good that Abu Jinapor has apologized. Because you don't do that. Anyway, Awin Traditional Council member exposed in illegal mining scandal. That's also on the New Crusading Guide. KD Asante leaves Ghana Gas as multinational companies pursue his expertise. Okay. And GBH board and SNIT. GBH board fights SNIT.
On that. So those who have said, I'm told that SIC, the woman,
and she has locked the office and he ran away with it.
Yeah, she's living by the judgment from the Supreme Court. So I'm sure Mutala gave her a copy. that when power changes us, many others have done the honorable thing. Because honestly, you can't be appointed by Akufo-Addo to prosecute the policies and agenda of Akufo-Addo. And then Mahama comes and he said that at SIC, you now implement the 24-hour economy. That's practically impossible. But there's a way you go about it. The board is constituted, and then the board can then fire her. Maybe she wants a January salary. Yeah, that has ended. Actually, she will get her January salary. Unlike the MMDCs, who got only 8 days salary.
There are people who decide that.
Understand why the SIC boss.
Fire me, and then when you fire me, I can take you.
Why would she do that? Why would she?
This is just elementary. You know that once there's a change of government, you're a political appointee. Definitely you go. Sami Ewuku did an honorable thing. He realized that
Sami Ewuku, Joe Anoche, all of those people.
Yeah.
In your CV, it protects you, right?
Yeah.
You left your post, even though technically we know that you are on your way out.
Yeah.
And you decide to be there and be creating issues like this for yourself before you realize it becomes something else that you.
Yeah. So she says she won't go. She has locked the office, and then the keys with her. But they don't have blacksmiths around.
What kind of nonsense?
Only blacksmith.
There are some things we just shouldn't do. Like, there are some things we shouldn't do. I think her party people should call her to order. Because, I mean...
But maybe she sees herself as a technocrat, you see. So, like, she got there by merit.
So,
did she get there by merit or she was appointed by president?
I'm telling you.
Was it advertised?
Don't worry, I'm telling you that
once you were politically appointed to head that institution, you have to go out politically.
Oh, her name is Holy Starr. Holy Starr, Dia Yentumi Esquire. Good, she's a lawyer. I know my rights.
She should continue.
I know my right.
Yeah, I know my right.
And that's what I like.
Whether I like it or not. Okay, so then she should go to court. She's
again. Going. Okay. But just that she won't leave the keys in the process. Like so she goes, my lord, here are the keys.
So once a case is in court, you don't do anything else contempt. So maybe he's already gone to court.
She will expect to be there
maybe she has already gone
to
court
and working.
Yeah.
Her life will be so miserable. Her work, the way she'll be frustrated.
Maybe she's not enjoying
the way she'll be frustrated. Nobody will tell her to.
She's not enjoying the job.
But the keys, okay. So you see, if they break the door to Wahala,
they will help
her build her case.
You don't have to.
Because she can say that she has lost about $2 billion from the office.
Oh, master.
Oh, only $2 billion.
Oh, Nibi.
But there's a way of doing it. You can go in with a lot of.
How many people have $2 billion in this world? Onibi. So GBH board fights SNIT boss over attempt to scuttle CEO appointment. So that's it for the New Crusading Guide. You have the Ghanaian Times.
Yes, I have the Ghanaian Times. New hard fare pegged at 62,000 Ghana cedis.
It's been
down
reduced,
from
right?
75,000 in 2024.
That's good.
And
this is something that Bahama said he would do, right?
Exactly. He had mentioned that it will be reduced. And if you know how exciting this news is to many people in the Muslim and the Zongo communities, you understand that to some of them, their votes have paid off, and that's it. Even if Muhammad does nothing again for them, they are okay. And
it makes it
in the sub-region,
easier for them to perform hard.
In the sub-region, everybody's paying $5,000. Ghana is paying $4,100.
Oh wow!
Yes, with this.
So that's $900 less than the average in the sub-region.
Exactly. And so to many people in the Zongo communities, and you think it's just many people in the Zongo community. No. Members of parliament belonging to the MPP will have to sponsor pilgrims from their constituencies who are Muslims. So the benefit doesn't only go to the people. I've seen people say that, no, there's a holy trip. So what? The benefit is to many more people than the Muslims alone. Yes. And so that's basically it. Comes to the picture of Collins Dauda. So instead of the 75,000, pilgrims will be paying 62,000.
Alhaji Collins Dauda.
I think that is a significant reduction for
That's
me.
a significant reduction.
So will you now perform Haji Mutala?
Last year, we'll save money.
Yeah,
we'll save a lot
we'll get there.
It's still a lot of money to some
Yeah.
of us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So with all your plenty money, Mutala.
Lantam.
We shall get there.
With all your plenty money.
It's a prayer. It's a
rich man like you.
It's a prayer.
Yes.
Rich man like you.
Said,
Yeah.
we are still saving. We do a lot of savings and get there.
But
Even
it's actually a
have you
calling.
seen a rich man not working before?
Yeah, you
There's
have
no
to
work
work.
for more.
It's a calling. It's
actually a calling.
one of the 5 pillars. So
Yeah, it's a calling. So if somebody gives me the 62,000 right now, I'll be called. No, I'll be called.
Yes.
The calling is the money, my brother. The calling is the money. Anyway, President Mahama promises to complete Takoradi Market Circle project.
Yeah.
And give indigenous quota of employment at Jamestown Harbour, Gamanche is saying. And back page of the Ghanaian Times, give indigenous quota, okay, the same story. Journalists schooled in energy reporting. Yes, so then they can report accurately on energy matters. So when we told that WAPCO is finally going to start the maintenance.
There was a statement that was issued, I think a joint statement that was issued.
Yeah.
So with starting the maintenance, enough crude oil has been imported into the country.
Yeah.
And the plants are going to switch from using gas to using the crude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the minister has assured, that's John Jinapo, has assured that there isn't going to be any doomso.
Yes.
Because there is enough crude to power the plants.
We thank God. But the off that.
I mean, I've been experiencing it. I don't know whether it was because they were switching over to
whatever
using light crude or whatever.
If there's an assurance.
Usually it lasts for about
must be followed through.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There was one that I think came in the morning. Yes, after. And I've seen many people complain on social media.
But me, right now, as I speak, my lights are awful.
That's the point.
Yesterday, I slept in
darkness.
Yeah.
So it's not a 20 minutes. So how is that 20 minutes? So
yesterday, I slept in darkness. But I don't know if mine has got to do with a localized fault because it looks like it went off.
Yeah.
And then it came on.
Yeah.
And it was on. And then later in the night,
went off again.
The power started fluctuating and then it went off. So it goes off. And I realized that there were areas, there were houses, that had lights, and then our place.
Okay, then it's localized. It flickers, then it's localized.
Yeah, so
it's localized for. Yeah, so that's it for Ghanaian Times.
Let me look at the Insight newspaper. Cocoa Board chokes on 5.37 billion Ghana cedi debt. Minister drops hint of ongoing investigation. So, the debt that has hit Cocoa Board. This is one of the things. This is one of the things that the NDC talked about a lot when they were in opposition. The debts at Cocoa Board.
Yeah.
And how for the very first time, Cocoa Board is running at a loss and making losses, when the cocoa sector is supposed to be one of the more lucrative sectors to rake in a lot of revenue for this country. We've entered an era where it is rather debt
Yeah.
That has accumulated at Cocoa Board.
Yep.
Yeah, so 5.37 billion Ghana cedis
is the
in
debt.
debt.
On the Holy Star, Hollywood style refusal to exit, the Fusojes president, Kofi Ofosun Kansa, has this to say about it. That I support NDC Fusojes for chasing out any MPP appointee who is refusing to leave office. If the NDC appointees had not left, will we have gotten opportunities to also serve? Even in the same government, the president can appoint you today and remove you tomorrow. So what's the point in resisting the president's directive? But the woman says there's a Supreme Court judgment. She wants to live by the dictates of that Supreme Court judgment.
She's a law-abiding
citizen. She's a law-abiding citizen. She has read law. She has read law. And she's not those people who were there for 8 years. She was there for just 4 years. 4 years.
You are a political appointee. She should continue to be there. She should be there.
She has left now, but she has left with the keys. Yeah.
She'll work from home.
The same story. Okay, you did. The same story is on the inside newspaper. Sacked SICMD refuses to hand over. locks up office and bolts with keys. Book on Israeli genocide in Gaza outdoored. A new military strategy on French neo-colonialism in Africa, reorganizing under the cover retreat. So that's the inside newspaper. These are the stories.
And we understand Raymond Acha is headed to Yoko as deputy boss. Raymond Acha, deputy Yoko boss.
Deputy Yoko boss.
Yes.
Oral.
So going there to represent Oral. So those who
is Mami Tiwa still at the Yoko? Mami Tiwa still at the Yoko.
Right? She's now in the pool at the police headquarters.
So who's at Yoko? She was removed?
A certain man. There's a replacement. Somebody has been nominated to replace Tiwa. So Raymond is going there as deputy. I'm sure it's deputy in charge of operations. Yeah. So
anyway. the bust that was put up for Mami Tiwa.
Oh no, it was broken.
Yeah, I know. But will it be put up again?
No, I think they should collect it.
I think the Oral should investigate.
Have you seen the
Oral should investigate the bust?
Those who destroyed it.
Yeah, because that's destruction of public property.
But that's not Oral's function.
Oral is just okay, now that Rumonacha is just receiving information. Deputy Iyoko boss. So that one can be done. Anyway, the what's the name? The region.
Takrade, the Western region.
Yeah, is taking initiative to save the president's statue. Yes, but I'm wondering how that will work though. There is a round, call it fence or something, construction going on. What? So that will stop people from what?
Having access to the place.
No. And then when you look at it, it's not like the place is being cordoned off. The mason work that we are seeing is laying of blocks around the statue.
When they want to enhance it too.
Unless they want to lay the blocks till it covers the president after, but that will be cosnante because we won't see the president.
See the statue.
No, there must be a method to it. Maybe subsequently they will explain to us what is really happening. But first they must re-erect the statue.
Yeah.
Before the reinforcement.
They should go and put it there.
Yeah.
I bet the new Western Regional Minister should make sure that.
And then they can also make it
statue goes back there.
Break proof. Like it can't be broken.
Oh, every statue can be broken.
No. Hello.
Hi.
Anyway.
Were you expecting something different?
That's the way you said the hi.
But it's not hard. Somebody says hello.
Yeah, because there are some materials when you use in fabricating a statue, it cannot be broken.
Like what, metal?
Yeah, huge one.
Who said you can't break metal?
No, you can't.
Be there.
Bulletproof. So break proof. Anyway, the other headlines.
No matter how you disagree with Akufo-Addo's statue, once it is a statue which was officially put there, let it be there.
Yeah.
Let it be there. Daily Dispatch newspaper. You didn't do the Daily Post.
No, okay, so Daily Post. You are down with your paper?
Yeah, I'm down with Insight.
Okay, so Daily Post.
Yeah.
APAC, 12 others nominated for deputy ministerial positions, and the minority was very disruptive. Appointments Committee Chair Ahiafo, President Mahama to reinstate Republic Day, introduce new public holiday for Eid of for the Republic Day. There is long overdue. Yeah. We should have it before July
should
comes.
have it. I mean, Republic Day should always be. Yeah. Should always be a holiday.
First July,
First July should always be a holiday.
And let it never be said that we have done something against 1st July being a holiday. Let we never get there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to anybody, members of the academia. Like I said, we spoke to Professor Havana Dimensa, who is a member of the New Patriotic Party. He said he's still waiting for any explanation that will make sense. That the day that Ghana attained Republic
status is not a holiday.
Cannot be celebrated as a holiday.
Yeah. Anyway, and with the other headline, go back to the newspaper. Okay. The headline there, the one down there.
The minority was very disruptive.
Yes.
That's according to the appointment committee.
Speaking about the appointments committee, yesterday, the sit-ins of the committee that was set up by the speaker started.
Yeah.
And they was truncated at a point.
Yeah, because the clerk to the committee was asked to speak. I think that was done on the
and
blind
this
side.
And this is when the clerk to the committee was giving her
testimony.
Testimony, yeah?
I think it was done on the blind side of the clerk to parliament. Clerks don't speak. So the invitation to get the woman to speak ought to have been routed through
the clerk.
And then gotten his express permission.
Right.
So that was not done.
But the clerk is a person of interest in
No,
all
we
of
get
this,
that.
Right?
We get that. But clerks don't speak. And that's how come speaker spoke for her. Speaker spoke for her extensively and indicated that she has served very well for 19 years.
Yeah.
And she's one of the best.
Yeah, but yesterday we heard her speak,
I get that.
And I love how she talked about how her lovely husband sent her a message.
That get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's a caring man.
Of course.
That's a good man.
Yes, of
that's
course.
a man who says, hey.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, a man who takes care of his woman.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Mr. Clark. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Interesting.
But I love the energy of the clerk to parliament. It got so much energy.
Yeah.
That's so much energy.
But the MPP decided that they are not going to be a part of this process.
Yeah, they boycotted it.
Because?
First of all, they feel it should be the Privileges Committee.
But in the absence of the Privileges Committee, does the Speaker not have the right to do what he did?
They talk about how the committee was constituted, that you usually reach out to the two caucuses and ask for names to be submitted. In constituting an ad hoc committee, that's what happens. You ask the caucus, present a list 3, present a list, this number, and the caucus will then submit, you then put it together. But of course, Speaker did not have that luxury of getting the caucuses to present names. So what he did was to put together a list and then announced. So the minority says, we will not be party to this. That's it.
So will they continue the hearings today?
Not that we know of. There was no express communication to that effect.
So we heard from Mahama Yariga. We heard from
Mahiafo.
Yeah,
heard from Gavin Kwame Abuja. Heard from some other MPs as well.
Yeah, and then we heard from the clerk.
We heard from Jifago Mashi, who shed tears at the point. That she felt traumatized
but she was very loud.
A fellow woman.
But when a fellow woman was being berated like that.
Torture.
Oh, Charlie.
That's obey anything.
You're such a troll. Such a troll. Daily Dispatch. We will not allow those with NPP 2028 agenda to use Bawumia as a scapegoat. That's according to an NPP guru.
Yeah.
They want to use Bawumia as a scapegoat.
They only say that Bawumia caused the defeat, but they say no, there was more to it than just Bawumia.
No, I think the defeat of the NPP, if you ask me, was a collective. It was a combination of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia.
Okay.
It was a combination of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia.
And then appointees too.
Yes, and appointees, but mainly Akufo-Addo and Bawumia.
And Ken Ofori-Atta.
Yes, Ken Ofori-Atta will be a factor, but eventually Ken Ofori-Atta left. But even with Ken Ofori-Atta, it is still Akufo-Addo.
And the attitude of some appointees.
But it is still Akufo-Addo.
And the arrogance of power.
It is still Akufo-Addo.
And the Ukraine war.
It all comes to Akufo-Addo.
Ukraine.
Yes.
Akufo-Addo started the Ukraine war.
No, but he started blaming Russia and Ukraine.
And then COVID.
And then COVID-19.
Yes.
I like your sarcasm. But I think, because it's not lost on anybody, because had certain things been done well by President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, that would greatly have, inured to the benefit of the New Patriotic Party. But people felt that Akufo-Addo had not done well. So this was more of a referendum on Akufo-Addo's governance, right? So if you ask me, that is where it came. And Bawumia was Akufo-Addo's 2IC.
Yeah.
Right, and he himself, had certain issues, certain statements he had made on certain policies in the past, and how his position had shifted on that. How he was supposed to be in charge of the economy, and the economy was not going well at a point in time.
The economy then became in charge of him. Is that what you are saying?
I have not said that. Okay. I've not said that. Okay. But
because they say he was supposed to be in charge of the economy. The economy became in charge of him.
He was supposed to be in charge of the economy, but at a point in time, it seemed as though he was not the one who was in charge of the economy, all of that. But Professor Michael Quay's committee will do their work.
But you just done the work for him.
No.
I mean, we should just clip this and send to him. Let's say it's a humanity.
Oh, no. This is just a layman's opinion. This is just scratching the surface, really.
Yeah,
This is just scratching the surface.
I think Professor Quay's work is a healing process for the party. People will get to appear.
Just like what happened with Kwesi
Boche's report.
Yeah. So, Freemasonry is compatible with Catholicism.
Yeah.
A Grand Master response to Bishop Oseyo Bonsu. I have no comment. I have no comment on that.
The only Grand Master I know is Grandmaster Nee. And that's Grandmaster Nee.
That's me at the table. That's right. President Mahama nominates first batch of 13 deputy ministers.
So the 4, why did he keep the 4? Just so if you are agitating somebody, say no, but there's 4. There's 4, so calm down.
He should have everything.
The competition for the 4 is tight.
It is also not by force.
For him,
no, it's not by force for him to appoint 60.
If the president has his way, he will go above the system. But
it's not by force for him to appoint 60.
But you know what I anticipate?
He just should not go beyond the 60. So he can have 56 ministers. He can have 40 ministers. It's not above 60.
And this is your advice to the president?
Because he's... Yes.
This is your advice to the president.
He doesn't have to appoint all the 60.
He should shelve the 4.
He can shelve it.
You are protecting that. But I think that this particular administration, there will be a lot of reshuffle along the line.
Oh, yeah. No,
that's one of the things.
Yes. Yeah, we know that Mahama is not afraid of reshuffle.
Yes.
We know that he will not shy. He will,
so
if he feels you are not doing well.
So those
we know that if pressure mounts and he has to fire you, he will fire you.
That one
because he has demonstrated in the past that it's something that he's capable of doing. Yeah. Because we all know the uproar that greeted Vicky Hammer, saying that she wants to make $1 million, even that with a secret record. When the pressure mounted, what did Mahama do? Fire there.
Yeah.
Jifar Tivo. What happened to Jifar Tivo? She was asked to resign.
Yeah.
And all of that. So we know that he's one who is not. If it gets controversial.
Yeah.
And then he realizes that, no, this is going to be a dent on my government and the work we are doing. I don't think he's afraid to fire.
He will show you the exit door. Yeah.
Let's hope he hasn't changed. Yeah. And besides, he said he's not going to be
Okay, let me give you Chronicle.
Yeah.
Chronicles, the final one I have. Custody blues. Baba Sam still keeping child despite court orders. This fight, can they get it over already?
Yeah, I think somebody
told it's a fight with the East Executive Club. And
but why should we care about this?
We shouldn't care. But anyway, the papers are caring because...
but in fact, if you read the story, it's virtually a rehash of what happened.
Because we told that the court has quashed the arrest warrant.
Set aside the order earlier given. And so
I don't understand why somebody's private business like this should be all over in the news and people
the media shapes active events and all of that. So this once every day is on the front pages.
It's the same story that the police issued a warrant saying that we should search for a certain tattoo on a certain part of this woman's body.
I was wondering the reason why the Ghana police, did that Paris see that statement?
I don't know whether
before it came out.
No. I'm sure that one it was a warrant. A warrant that was issued. So that one it doesn't have to go through the public.
So let me just share a story. A story that I did.
How can you be telling people
that you went in search of her?
She has a tattoo on her.
Let's hear the
in the course of court reporting, that was when the issues at Fuku started. The early part of the trial. That was between 2016 thereabout. So the wife of the late Adams Mahama was in court to testify, and as one of the ways of showing, proving to the court that yes, she came to contact with acid content and all of that. There were some bruises on one of her breasts.
Yes.
So as part of the testimony, prosecution want to tell the court that yes, through that she suffered some bruises and all that. So the woman will have to now go show that part of the breast.
Was it a male judge?
The jury and all that. It was a male judge. So the jury and so I remember one of the stories that I did was that wife of the late Adams Mahama exposed shows breast and the uproar, the comment that were carried.
But that was what happened.
What happened? Absolutely, exposes
but the
breast.
headline.
Yes.
In aid of prosecution's case. Yeah.
And it became something else. You get it. That's why no pink court.
I think there should have been discretion. They could have taken a picture.
They have done that. But
they could have taken a picture and then
want to make the case so real to the court that, Lord, this is what has happened. And the jury were allowed to. And of course, they are the judges of facts. So they have to see what you are talking about. Okay. Even though we have.
And years down the line, as we speak,
the case is still
there's no end in sight.
That. So I understand why the.
And this was just to prove that she came into contact with the acid.
Yes.
Not that this is to say that she saw somebody pour the acid on the husband. Come on. Why do we do this to ourselves? Anyway, the other headlines here. Nitiwu blows cover of NDC land grabbers. Mentions Boteman, Adentan Aviation, Military Cemetery, and Tamale Residency. And Western Region Chiefs approve Mahama's oral. And quotation for this morning. Matthew 7:5. You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So says the Lord. That is it for the Chronicle. I'm sure you can take us to starfm.com.gh.
Yes, we'll go to starfm.com.gh and take a look at the stories that are there on starfm.com.gh. A teacher has been jailed 10 years for fraudulently withdrawing over 200,000 Ghana cedis from bank using the Ghana Pay app. Hey, wow. Okay. So, Isaac Adongo urges calm over deputy ministerial exclusion. And Che Mensah Bonsu questions appointment of chief of staff for VIP for the vice president. NPP's yes. So,
what was Federware's position? Federware was Baumia's chief of staff.
Well, this is what Che Mensah Bonsu is saying. It says, why should there be a chief of staff position for the vice president?
Okay, maybe he's saying that now we can do away with it.
In an exclusive interview on Ebusia FM, Che Mensah Bonsu critiqued the nomenclature, suggesting it deviates from established norms and creates potential ambiguities. And this is his quote. I think it's a mistake in terms of nomenclature. He elaborated on his concern, emphasizing the conventional understanding of the role. Everywhere, chief of staff is designated as such for the presidency, not the president personally. The chief of staff serves the presidency, which includes the office of the vice president. He argued that having a chief of staff solely for the president alongside another for the vice president creates confusion regarding seniority and overall responsibility. So this is why Osei Mensah Bonsu believes that there shouldn't be a chief of staff for the vice president. He also says that MPP's future is in limbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's speaking on Dr. Bamia's fate. He's in limbo. Protect lands and water bodies from illegal mining. Mahama urges chiefs. Collins Dauda exposes $5.4 million debt by previous Hajj board. Western region to take its rightful place in Ghana's development. So that's according to John Mahama. Mahama vows to complete Starr Takrady Market Circle project. We can curb Galamsey in 6 months. That's according to
Muntala.
Yes, Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed. So yeah, that's it for the starfm.com.gh.
Okay, so let me take you to City Newsroom. City Newsroom, the headlines there. Ashanti Region, Adanse North DC flees as assembly members demand his removal. The acting DC You know, the president, after relieving the MMDCs of their posts, asked the coordinating directors to take over. So the coordinating director and acting district chief executive of the Dancing North District Assembly in the Ashanti region, Thomas Kwame Okra, fled his office because they were accusing him. They were accusing him of some underhand dealings. Ashanti region, abandoned chips compound health facilities will be completed. A former Hajj board denies leaving over $5 million debt. And Volta regional minister pledges to revamp tourist sites to boost local economy. Bagman didn't suspend vetting chaos hearing. Minority orchestrated it. Bejra and Western region, debt exchange won't halt infrastructure development. Mahama to reinstate Republic Day, introduce new public holiday for Eid. And Johnson Esiama uniquely qualified to hold BOG governor position. Kwachu Fosu. Outgoing SIC MD allegedly locks offers and leaves with keys. Jenapo denies allegation of verbal attack on Zaneto Rollins. And Edward Obeng Kenzo takes over from Ainchidakwa as acting VRA CEO. That is it for the city newsroom. And that will be it for the newspaper review.
We need to know the MP who was saying a lot of Medra said that. We need to know.
The matter has been escalated. There's a petition that has been presented. And so obviously the identity of the individual will be made known.
My challenge is that
when that will happen is that he will be made to retract and apologize.
Yes, such a house, an MP boldly comes out to speak and make an allegation of that nature, and the same MP is running away from it. You are not coming out to say that, yes, upon a second thought, I realized that what I said was below the belt, so I withdraw and apologize. It doesn't take anything away from somebody we describe as an honorable person. I think that is below. Waiting for all this backlashing at the end of the day, you come out. And I been mentioned that the person we think is at the center of the whole thing has come out to say that he's even not the one that did it. So who did it? In fact, for things to be happening in Parliament this way, for me, the highest body that is seized with the power to enact laws for us, and then you be doing these kind of things, it's way below the belt.
Some of our MPs have demonstrated to us that they are not honorable.
They are not supposed to be there.
A lot of things have happened in our Parliament that we thought will never happen, that we hadn't seen before.
And they have happened.
The 9th of the 7th of January 2020, was it 2020?
Yes,
2021.
2021, yes.
Yeah. And all throughout, there have been some of these incidents, happening here and there, all the way to the appointments committee.
And in fact, that was the parliament that we thought that we are going to see, a parliament that is very astute, a parliament that we have never seen before, because it's a parliament that you struggle to have a majority.
Yeah.
So then actions and events that will take place in parliament will be, the quality of it should never have been in doubt. But what have we seen?
What have we seen there? What have we seen? It's quite unfortunate. But so that's it for the newspaper headlines and the online news portals. There's still quite a lot coming up here on the Morning Star. Mutala Inusa, you've got some news for us from the courts, haven't you?
Yes.
So
by the way, you've been trending. Your interview with Afenyo, where there are some chameleons who float MPP and assure the NPP appointees that, Charlie, I'm a PP, thorough blood, full-blooded MPP. And then part changes hands and say, me, MPP. I didn't know them. No, neutral. Me, I've been NPC all along. I can swear, I swear. And when they swear, you know what they do? They will put their finger on their tongue and then, yes.
Point to the sky,
So according to Afenyo Mark, the people at the acting MD of ECG is going around saying that
he's MDC than Rollins. He's MDC than Rollins.
And there's another person in there. They are trying to block somebody from getting eligible. That video is trending.
Very. Everywhere.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Why you have arrived?
You are everywhere.
Oh, how? Let's take a short break. When we return, we'll talk about matters coming from the courts.